Hello, everyone. It's me, Sarah, and the Invisibles today. And I'm just going to post this somewhere else. All right. So for anyone that was here last week, I had a great blooper of leaving my camera on and walking away and going to pick my daughter up from school. So whoever sat on for that, sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed being in the gold room with the Invisibles. So as for today, I'm just getting back from the Coxsila Musical Festival, which was way more than that. It was a gathering that was specifically focused on reconciliation and taking the next steps towards Indigenous rights, reclaiming land sovereignty in different ways, and listening. A lot of it was just listening and having perspectives, and elders come and bring teachings that are here to support us in helping make this next transition into honoring the unseen, but the felt. So that was powerful, and it really stirred up a lot in me about my roots and understanding what is my connection to the land, what is my connection to what has happened before me, and how do I honor the lineage that I'm part of and the tending of the land that has come with that lineage and different things like that. So for today, and how this works is I'm just going to ask a question myself to start it off. I'm going to put this here actually. Dun, dun, dun. And it's really up to you. So if you want to believe it, receive it, leave it, or lend it. So the Invisibles are a group of spirit guides that I work with and have been channeling not for too long, at least outwardly, and though they've been working with me since I was a young girl. And they will speak through me. There'll be some awkward coughing generally, as that's my process. And yeah, it's just a great opportunity to ask a question for yourself, humanity, or the planet. So my first question is in relation to how do I say this? The first question that I have for them is regarding broken ancestral connection to land. Because after having this gathering that I was at, that theme really came up to me as what do we do when we don't feel like we actually have a rooted lineage in a landscape, when through being settlers or being transplanted or whatever has come up, if they have any perspectives on people that are feeling unable to root in their life and that disconnection. So that's my question about ancestry and the land and how that plays a role. And so for anyone popping on, this is a great time for you to just put on your question in the thread so I can get to you next after this question. And my daughter is getting on the bus today, so I'll have a little longer than the last times. So here we go. I'm just going to open the space, this beautiful sound of this bell, allowing it to move through this place, move through your home if you wish that, to come into your space, just bringing clarity and presence. I also have a bit of a cold today, so. All right. So ancestry and the land. So this question is for any beings feeling disconnected with the land due to either being transplanted from their ancestors, from their heritage land, from their root land. Okay.
Turning back time to reorganize how fate had lived itself into existence is not possible necessarily unless you allow yourself to retrace your steps, retrace what has happened, what you've experienced, but beyond that, open yourself up to the sensations and the memories of your ancestors that you are linked to sheerly by having a body. Okay? So these ancestors, these root lands, as Sarah calls it, are the places, the origin of when your ancestors, or where, were able to deeply integrate throughout many generations upon a landmass, to the point where the land itself has played a key significant role in the upbringing, in the beliefs, in the innate culture that's moved through those that have lived upon it. So that relationship, after 3 to 8 generations, between that's amount of time, there is an actual energetic cord that can weave itself through a genetic level, through a cellular DNA level, to that landmass. Okay, so that there is actually something that is intricately designed to keep you deeply connected to these root lands if you've experienced that kind of contract and commitment, or your ancestors have. So when the question comes up about what if there is a displacement from these root lands, what if this disconnection from the ancestry, from the physical ancestry, where the bones have laid, where the footprints have been made, where the food has been created, where the laughter has been had for generations upon generations. Well, we can say that you do still have access to the vibrational input of that land. So you have the ability, through asking for permission, for deepening your sense of openness and willingness, to actually connect to the essence of that land, to help nourish you and help understand the systems that occur in you naturally. But we also understand that by being we want to say dislocated in some ways, dislocated from what fit, from the natural order that your ancestors have experienced with certain land masses, from understanding the waterways, the natural habitat, the migration routes, the weather, things like that. So for you to replace, to shift from this dislocation into relocation and a resituation in how you can experience the land that you are currently with, involves a variety of techniques, but the one that we're going to share with you is connecting in with the ancestors of the land that you're on, so the indigenous culture. If you can do that actually in the person, if you can take that initiation in your own way, that's very powerful. But just learning about the culture
and also asking for guidance from any of the guides and ancestors of the land, that you can help care in your own way to the land that you found yourself upon, in a way that is akin to the teachings and the lessons that that land naturally has moved through the people who have existed upon it. There's more to this, but we're going to get to more questions. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. So for everyone popping on, this is a great time for you to ask a question for yourself, humanity, or the world to the invisibles. It sounds like somebody has, and if you want to send me a message privately, you're welcome to do that if you don't want to have your name put on this live transmission. So I just got a message from somebody, an anonymous being, and it says, I'm intimately and romantically involving myself with a man who desires and is capable of am I intimately and romantically involving myself with a man who desires and is capable of divine sacred union with me? All right. So this is for an anonymous being. You know who you are. And for anyone else that is stepping on, please put your questions in the thread, unless you desire to send me a private message via Facebook if you want to be anonymous. And you will be next after this question. So here we go. This is for Union. All right. Get out of the track, because something is coming your way, and it is coming strong, and it has been coming for as long as the tracks have been here. Okay. Sometimes in life, we forget that we've put ourselves in the middle of oncoming traffic. We've put ourselves in the middle of a train track. Maybe we're walking on something that seems, what's that word? Abandoned, not in use. Maybe the cycle of that train or that aspect in our life that we haven't seen for a while, whether it's divine union, whether it's financial stability. How do you know if the track that you've put yourself on is in alignment, is the same track that actually has momentum coming at you from far away or maybe close? Or have you put yourself in the track of something that is abandoned, of something that doesn't run anymore? And no matter how long you wait, it's not going to come, okay? Because you're on the wrong track. So when we say get yourself off the track, We're saying that there is something that you've been sitting on, that you've been waiting for something, for someone to come. Thinking that this is the track that surely is going to bring you to them, or them to you, whatever first. We're not saying that there is not a destination for you or for what you are desiring to you. Okay? But we are saying that even in this relationship, whatever track you are on with this person needs to be shifted. Okay? Because it is not necessarily being placed in a way that's going to bring you what you are desiring. Okay? We don't feel like we can tell you how getting on the right track is going to come into place, but we can say that there is something with this person. It's funny there. I'm going to translate. It's funny. They're saying this word. I don't even know if it's a word. They're saying like sacroiliac. I don't know if that's a word. Okay, I'm going to go back in. Whatever he's asking of you in the exchange, he is asking of you something that is subconscious, okay? There is something that he is asking of you that you may not actually understand, okay? Because he may have fears of surfacing the question in a way that makes sense. Because if the question was able to make sense, then perhaps you would be able to discern your truth. So yes, there is some fear from this individual or resistance around helping you get on the track that they see, okay? Because in order for both of you to align, you need to see if the same track is possible. If really, truly, you're each going in the same direction. And it doesn't have to be something that you can see down the road, because life has so many situations that unfold for you, right? There's something about a vertebrae, lower abdominal muscles, and a way that the body is naturally holding and resisting something. We can't tell if it's you or him, because already we see, well, they're kind of showing me that already you guys are linking your like solar plexus together. So there is this power in that. I'm just kind of seeing how there is a way that with solar, so for anyone watching too, with where energetic cords connect with partnerships to create deeper intimacy in some ways, though it can also turn into a bit of a nightmare if they are left connected during tumultuous times. But so where they're connected really can affect how that relationship is going to play out. So what I was seeing for this anonymous being is I was seeing this connection between them and their partner around the solar plexus. And I almost saw it like woven between the two of them. So that means that they are able to empower each other and lift each other up in the ways of anything the solar plexus chakra would kind of bring up. But at the same time, that's the same chakra that would be affected. So as much as the relationship could thrive through being connected to empowerment and personality and how you exude yourself to the world, it can also be depleted. So you might have they might be getting triggered in things that they might be starting to feel their own disempowerment cords or their own things coming up. And maybe you too, some of these hidden stuff that are connected to your solar plexus chakra. Whereas as you guys work through that, then you can start disengaging from these old patterns that aren't really healthy, that are connected. So there's a little bit of that for you. And that's for the Miss Anonymous, about the connection between you and this being you're intimately engaged with right now. All right, so moving on. So for anyone that is here watching this, listening to this, drinking tea with me somewhere across the world, this is a great opportunity for you to ask a question for yourself, humanity, or the planet. So I'm going to see if anyone sent me a private message. Let's see. All right, so for anyone that is here, it looks like, somebody talked about, okay, the sacroiliac joint, this was from the last transmission, is a joint between the sacrum and the ilium bones and the pelvis, which are connected by strong ligaments. In humans, the sacrum supports the spine and supported in turn by the ilium on each side. Aha. All right. So I could see how those body parts too are, very much how we support ourselves and our sexuality, and also connected to the spine, which is about supporting our purpose and our livelihood. So moving on. So if anyone has a question for the Invisibles or for me, or a bit of it all, please post it on the thread. You would be next, actually. And while I am waiting for a question, and you can also private message me if you want to be anonymous. So while I'm waiting for a question, if anyone wants to share this too, if there's any friends you think would want to jump on, please do that. I am going to do an intermission song while I'm waiting. Let's see. That's not the song, that should be coughing. Okay. The roses, they hold the beauty of their purpose, and thorns, be bold and show your worth. Let all that you protect be from the center, and may you reflect that what is within you is surrounded by what is important to you. So let go of the causing fret of the ancients and their illuminated net that they've thrown upon you to catch what's true to you too, and hold on to what is important. The music will be strong if you allow yourself to anchor in the earth. Give worth to you. Give worth to you. All right, so that was the intermission song. Still no questions. Well, I gotta just ask more questions if anyone's not picking up any questions. Let's see. So there is actually a question that I had originally. I was kind of, oh, you're welcome, Scott. Little freestyle fairy songs for y'all. Oh, okay, yeah. And if you want to ask another question, if somebody wants to ask a question, even if you asked a question last week, you can totally do that. So ask away. Barbara? Oh, all right. We got a question from Smila. Dear Sarah, facing some changes soon concerning the place I live. I will live in the winter time, and wondering, new or several options are coming up. I would like to know if you have some guidance for me. All right, so this is for Smila, and who I know by another name, but so this is about her wintertime plans, and if there's any guidance towards the direction that might make most sense to what's important to her in the long run. All right. Going north is not what's needed. And when we say this, we're saying going towards what is known, going towards the ancient, going towards the coldness is not what's needed. But answering to the part of you that already knows what is going to happen, that is what we're encouraging you to think about. The part of you that even if you're expressing different ideas or desires, we kind of see that perhaps you already know what's going to happen, and it's just a matter of you catching up to that decision. So the decisions that you have ahead of you are intricately connected with your desire to feel sustaining, to feel that there is purpose, to feel that there isn't anything that is going to hinder you, right? From feeling the flow and feeling the comfort and the relaxation that comes with being in alignment, right? But we are seeing a nervousness. We're seeing something connected under your rib cage and your body. And we're also seeing that there is someone who's affecting you from a far distance. And we're also seeing that there is something that is occurring in you that's not sure of how to find the structure, right? The structure to develop itself into what's needed. We see that you have a lot of ideas that are surrounding growth and maturity. But when it comes to ideas that are surrounding systems of complacency or neglecting, these are old patterns that perhaps are deeper or perhaps are more surfaced, but you haven't been looking at them. Because these patterns were in place to help you diagnose in yourself if you're off course, okay? So if complacency comes up, neglectfulness, if you find that you're not able to be aware of as many details in your life, be aware of taking care of your body, be aware of responsibilities that you've created. Then it means that your thoughts, your attentiveness is somewhere else, right? It's pretty normal concept, right? But what we're seeing is that there is an attentiveness that's needed towards how you are approaching what's possible. What energy are you giving the suggestions that the world have for you? Notice in you when options come up. Where are you coming from with that desire or that curiosity? Is it because it seems easy? Is it because it seems challenging, but a challenge that you want to pursue? Is it because you feel obligated to the commitment? Is it because it feels like it's the only option that is going to get you closer to your goal that you can consider? These are different things that can play a role in how you're making your choice. We're hearing like, they're kind of showing me this, like something with like sand, like San Diego, San Francisco, some sort of sand in front of it. I'm not quite sure what it's about. Let me see if there's any more to that. Let's see. There are options that you will not be able to understand until you walk towards them, okay? There are options that are only possible if you can step out of the previous ways of making choices, right? So for you, what we encourage you to do is to start making choices from a place of what's the most important to your soul. But the soul that is in alignment with the needs and the contracts that you have with the body and with this life. And you'll know if it is in alignment because you'll breathe deeper, because you'll be able to express with more clarity, because you'll feel warmth come into your body when you consider it. Thank you. All right. So moving on. So that was for you, my dear Smila. I hope that's helpful. All right. Sniffly nose Sarah in the house. So it looks like the next question we have. Oh, Abigail. Yay. I was just looking at your profile today, actually, for this upcoming tour I have, which I should actually post this right now. So where is this? So for anyone that's popping on too, I'm actually in the process. I'm going to show this of putting together my West Coast tour. So I'm looking for venues and it's going to be in November. So before I get to this next question, looking for venues in Portland, Ashland, Shasta, Nevada City, and Sebastopol. So early November, me and the Invisibles and a bunch of classes are coming live. And we're looking for hosts to support us, or venues, or benefactors to help pay for venues. So private message me. There's more to come on that, or look on my Facebook page, Sarah Burns and the Invisibles. Anyways. Yes. So moving on though, so the next question is Abigail. So Abigail is interested in guidance around the land I'm currently living on. What is needed and what is my place and role there? Wonderful. Seems like the theme so far. that's what I started this out for anyone that's popping on. So the first question, you can listen to it when it goes in the replay, was about connection with the land and how do we bridge this connection with lands that we haven't had many generations upon, where they calling it the root land, where we don't have necessarily the root land. How do we bring our roots into land? That was the first question. And so this one is for Abigail, about guidance around the land that they're currently on and what is needed and what is their place and role there. All right. I can show that for a moment. Da, da, da. Don't get caught in the dynamics that surround your question, okay? Because there is something that is needed of you. There's multiple things that are needed of you. One of them is cord connection. So how are you, and in what way do you feel comfortable creating a taproot into the home that you live at? How deep is that going into the land? Okay. How much are you actually choosing to be an ambassador of that land in the way of having a deeper connection energetically, so that you can hear the needs, not only of the land, but of the wishes of the elementals, the wishes of the spirits on the land. We're seeing this image of, it's easier if I just tell you what I see. So they're showing me this like bird bath, with this really nice bird bath. And I kind of see like, I don't know if it's stones set around it. So the bird bath I'm seeing, it looks like maybe it's made out of concrete or stone. But it's one of those ones that go up like that, like a column, and then it comes out. And they're showing me like something about creating this like sanctuary around this bird bath, or finding one, and that it's, in some ways it's like an offering to the birds, an offering to the winged ones, but it's also a way of having fresh water and having water available to do prayer work with, and to have people use as blessing water. I mean, it could even be something where you could bring waters of the world towards, kind of like if you've ever been to Peggy Black's, she's got this amazing fountain. She's an elder in Santa Cruz Mountains, for anyone. Peggy Black. I should write her here. Just check her. Peggy Black. Da-da. So if anyone wants to check out her work, she channels the Hathors and has amazing offerings in a labyrinth. And she has this fountain that she has waters of the world in. So it's always moving and flowing. It's in Santa Cruz. And people can come, and people have been like, she's an elder, so people have been mailing her water from all around the world to this. I'm not saying that's necessarily for you, Abigail. At least the image I saw was a lot smaller and less like rooted, less something that could be there for centuries. But something about working with bringing a bird bath, unless there already is one, bringing a place of water into, is there, I'm hoping that, like, if you have access to outside, I'm hoping you have, like, do you have like a backyard, or are you on land? I don't know if you can answer that, because I'm definitely seeing it outside. And then they were showing me these images of like these like pretty good sized stones, like, but they looked kind of raw. Like I saw like rose quartz, and then something that was like almost like a raw quartz. You know, and that's something you can always align with. Oh, 53 acres with a creek. 43 acres. You got some land that you're on. Great. So some working with, and I mean, it could be beyond a bird bath. It could be more substantial, but is there anything like that on the land? Like, do you have a watering offering spot apart from the creek? Because they're showing me there's something important, because they're showing me that there's something important with having contained water on the land, and something that you could possibly cleanse or like keep fresh. Nope, not yet. So let me see if there's any other things I want to share. As much as you think it's important for you to hold any interpersonal burdens, potentially in dynamics from this land or that come home through this land, we're seeing that that's not your responsibility. That if you're to be considerate of others is one thing, but we're seeing something about your spleen. Well, your spleen is somehow connected to another individual. We see a burden that you're taking on that's not yours, and it is affecting your capacity to have more willingness to give. Even if you feel like you give or you have a willingness, there's still something that's feeling drained from another individual, or I don't know if I should share what this person looks like. It's probably just allow you to, if you have a feeling. So that's kind of what they wanted me to stop with. So if possible, make a bird bath, make a little water altar area on the land, and check your connections with which energies are you taking on that are not necessarily for you. Because the image they were showing me was like there's a burden connected between your spleen and some individual that is affecting how much you feel like you can actually give. All right. So moving on. Let's see how many questions we've got lined up. Oh, yes, we've got, Scott says, wow, that's amazing, the bird bath and water in Santa Cruz. Yeah, in Santa Cruz, you can actually go there. It's this beautiful fountain, big fountain that's always going. We do prayer work, and she's actually given me a little, and you can go and actually take water, like take a little bit of the water for yourself. Like she does water blessings, and she fills these little vessels, and you can take them, and then they become like homeopathic of that quality and the essence of her water, of that water of the world. And then you can bring that to your water body and turn that into waters of the world as well. All right. So we have room for, I think, 2 more questions. So we got Scott and then Ming Mei. So I'm going to show this one. So Scott here is saying, I've been wondering lately, where's my tribe? Alone for a long time, but not lonely. Any insight? All right. For anyone else, I'm sure if anyone else has experienced that feeling, throw some hearts across, because I definitely know it's something that has fueled me to seek and to take leaps of faith. Before going into that, I'm just going to clear the. I wasn't able to properly cleanse this room before doing this transmission, so. All right, cleansed. All right, here we go. This is for you, Scott. Underneath the seat there is a key that opens up infinity if you allow yourself to take another look. We see that there is something that you've been sitting on for a long time. We're hearing October 3rd, 2011, possibly, or in October 2011, something. We're also hearing 2020, so something that could have the potential of either projecting itself into the future or that a long wait ahead of you, and perceived long wait. And why we say it's a key is that there is a way of opening yourself up energetically to kindred spirits in your life that you have the key for. You're sitting on it, okay? But it's something that you may have felt not a tool that you could use. Perhaps one that you appreciate when you see others using, but for yourself. There's something about connecting on a social level, but what we're seeing is beyond that. I'm gonna show. So what I'm seeing, Scott, it's a little complex, but I'm seeing this image. Like first, I was kind of seeing this image of like some sort of something that's already in place. Like there's some sort of group of individuals, and then I was hearing kind of like the idea of a coven, which is more of a witchy term, but this gathering of beings, or depending that come together to have deeper connection with their connection to the elements or to the divine, or to inspiring each other and supporting, practicing techniques. But I was seeing and I wasn't sure if it's from this life or another life. I kept seeing these like Celtic, I was seeing these old green and brown kind of Celtic knots. So I don't know if this is either something in your ancestry, or if there's qualities of this kind of work. So working with the old ancient, more Celtic druidic practices, or if there's something within. I'm not quite sure, because they're showing me there's some sort of timeline I'm not quite sure about. So let me see if I can ask more questions. What if you closed the port down before the boats arrived? What if who has been en route to you, or whom, or where are these beings we see? have been en route to you since 2011, okay? But your port of harbor, the place, we're not sure if that's the right wording, but the place where the boats come in, the place where you're able to have a welcoming space to receive these individuals, is not as transparent as you may like or as you may believe. So what in you is actually preventing being seen by the tribe that you're calling forth? Okay. We're seeing almost this protective mechanism, something like perhaps there's a fear on, not a fear, but we're seeing something connected to your ancestors' line regarding bringing people close to you, however, having some sort of repercussion because of, how do we say this, dynamics that unfolded. So there's something in your familial line that feels that it is, that you have an internal fight with your soul's desire and determination, and then this familial line that is still adapting to it being okay to have family and friends and close ones close, okay? That you're safe. And so what we're seeing is, interesting. I'm kind of seeing this image of, I don't know if it was a baby or, like, I'm seeing this image, I don't know which timeline it is, but of like a child. It was like, I'm seeing a few things, like a child or like some people in the family that had some sort of very contagious, deathly thing. I don't know if it was polio or I don't know, measles or something. I'm seeing like that in that process, it was unsafe to actually approach this person, okay? And I don't know if it was a baby, like the thing I keep seeing something about a baby. I don't know if it was a past life or if it's an ancestor, but there's something that has, and of course, anything I say, believe it, receive it, leave it, or lend it. But I'm seeing something about this program in place connected with it being unsafe for beings to come near you. And I don't know if maybe the baby ended up passing on the disease to the mother or the relatives. But there's some sort of like healing that can be done around that. Okay. Yeah. So there's something I'm seeing, like something as a child, in this child feeling that it's unsafe to have others come close. And so in that healing work that needs to be done, the importance of like going into what can you do for that child? What can you do for that child to know that that cycle is over, okay? And that it's safe and it's important and that you're well and you're not you're not contagious, but there's some mending that needs to happen because like they're showing me, like I saw this image of, this bay, this ocean or ocean bay, and then these ports, but there was like mist all around it. And I was seeing this image of these boats, which represented people that, your tribe that are like trying to come and reach you, but this mist or there's something energetically surrounding you that is preventing them being able to see you. So I think you getting to go in and working on whatever that maybe deep-seated wound in yourself and also possibly ancestral. This could be something that's been passed on from ancestors of it being unsafe for your beloveds, your close ones to really actually be in your life physically, is something that could be worked on. So there's some unpacking for that, but I hope that's helpful and that is the next step, I feel, for you into having your tribe come, because it seems like they want, like they're wanting to come, like the boats are coming or the boats have come, and it's more about you lifting whatever that mist is, whatever that veil is that's preventing them from reaching the dock, reaching the harbor, reaching your life on the physical plane. So okay, right, there's one more thing they want to say. This is an affirmation. You can maybe write it down after, or you can just, I'll give you the minutes and you can find it. Let's see. I allow what I seek in my life by knowing and trusting I am a pristine vessel of loving, accepting, and grace, pristine vessel of loving, acceptance, grace, perseverance, and perseverance. The other one is, I allow myself to be seen, felt, heard, touched, knowing that what I have to bring and who I am is needed, wanted, and important on this planet. That it is safe, this is the third one, it is safe for me to have close connections in my life. It is safe for others to be in my life. Let's reword that. I allow myself to open the gates to receive those of my tribe, of my clan, into my life. The highest and best good in the highest and best way. Thank you. All right. So that was for Scott. And hope that's helpful. So moving on. All right, this is once again the theme. Okay, so I'm just gonna post this for a moment. So this is from Ming Mei, and she says, "Hi Sarah, I have questions, confusion regarding the place I want to live. I don't feel that the place I'm currently living in is truly honors my needs and is right for me. Thank you." Oh, I'm glad that was helpful, Scott. All right, so this is for Ming Mei. This is quite a theme, huh? This is like we've got a lot of relocating, a lot of people aligning themselves or trying to understand where they're at in their life. All right, so this is for you, my dear. I'm going to read this one more time. I have questions and confusions regarding the place I want to live in. I don't know if the place I'm currently living in truly honors my needs and is right for me. Thank you. So let's see what they have to say. And I think this is going to be the last question. We might, hello, my dear. Your turn. We might have room for one more question after this, possibly. Otherwise, if there isn't anything lined up, I'm going to move on. All right, let's see. If you're to make bone broth out of a brittle bone, out of something that doesn't naturally have the marrow in it, have the substance or the substance that creates the nourishment, and you're to boil that bone for hours and hours. You're going to boil that bone for days, trying to make this broth, this nourishment for yourself, without seeing that it's hollow, okay? This is what we see is going on for you in your home. And we're also seeing it's more that you are in a place where you're acknowledging the ways that you have been boiling, that you have been trying to use energy to find nourishment from what's already in place, right? Taking the time to seek the sustenance from your environment. But now you're feeling and you've come to the realization that it is hollow in some ways, that there is what is going to actually nourish you and sustain you is not present, okay? Can it become present? It's hard to say. It depends on how invested you are in the changes needed. Because what we're seeing is that it's important for you to develop your own sense of belonging, okay? Your own sense of belonging in this world, your own sense of belonging in the country you're in, right? And how to do that is to find in yourself where you may have old patterns of not feeling necessarily worthy for the sustenance, or that it's not fully accessible to you for some reason. That the sustenance or what is truly going to fulfill you is something that you have to work at and pull at from your environment. We are telling you that that's not necessarily the case. Yes, there is work ahead of you. Yes, you will need to develop more skills. You'll need to bring in more community or commitments that actually inspire you. But this idea that what you're seeking will be able to get pulled out of the environment you're in now, well, we can't commit to saying yes to that. Sometimes in life, it truly is a matter of us realigning ourselves with a location or a commitment or community that best serves who we are becoming, okay? Perhaps where you are has served where you've come from in yourself. It's nourished you or been there for you in certain times of needs. We're seeing this other woman, 50s, 60s, or I'm not sure. Anyways, so for you, my dear, lifting up the carpet, seeing what's underneath, seeing what's collected, what dust you've been living in. We see a lot of clearing and cleansing, okay? So in this time of allowing yourself to be open to reinvesting in a new situation, we want you to really go to, what do they say, go to the nines, or invest in what you can do to cleanse and clear the home you're in, and aligning. We see a shelf, either finding a shelf to help sort, or a shelf in your space that needs organizing, or shifting or moving it into a better alignment. Like we said, cleaning, doing what you can for your home to feel cleansed and to feel that you're honoring it for what it is, that you're making any adjustments that are going to help you feel like there's momentum in your life, that there's things that are changing. Perhaps get new blinds, but be open to where is the home or the next place of landing that's actually going to reflect where you're at now, okay? And that can be done through a series of asking for, praying for, or connecting in with the areas that you wish to live in, connecting to the land that's there. Oh, I'm gonna keep speaking for them. So the image I have, and the image, and also this is a practice that I've used when calling in where's the best place for me. So this is for anyone else that's, this is a theme of this week, is location, location, location. So so what I'm seeing is, and what I know is, there's ways of actually connecting in with the earth herself and connecting in with these different locations on the planet. And I like to say, I like to go right to the earth first and saying like Earth Mother, or this is my own belief system. I mean, you might have your own, but consciousness of the earth, the planet, where I'd say something like, your body so well, everything that's on you, all the rivers and the tributaries, all the forests, the power points, the beings and the humans and the cities, all of it, right? What's happening upon your body. So where on your body, where on this planet it's going to be in the best, it's going to be in alignment with what I have to offer and what I need to receive, okay? So that I can be more fulfilled and can offer more fulfillment in this life to others and into the planet and humanity, whatever that is. So kind of dropping in, and that's been a prayer that's been really helpful for me, is dropping into like, where on this planet am I needed, okay? As where on this planet is going to nourish me so that I can feel fulfilled in certain ways, so that I can receive and give from that filled cup, if that makes sense. So I see a little bit of that, but I think they're trying to hint that, yeah, you should probably find a better spot. Can only get so much from your environment until it's just time to upgrade. So blessings to you, my dear, on that journey and that up-leveling of your life, however that comes about, and being gentle with yourself in the process. But like they were trying to point at, is you feeling the out of balance is important. And of course, like I say, believe it, receive it, leave it, or lend it. So if anything I say for anyone, seems important, seems like there's a gold nugget in for you, please take it and use it and allow it to fuel or inspire you in certain directions. If there's something that just doesn't resonate with you, authentically doesn't resonate, then just leave it. It's not for you. Perhaps it's for somebody else, or perhaps it's for many other people. And then the other thing is lending it. So if there's a teaching that comes up and you're not quite ready to digest it, but you're not quite ready to leave it either, I call it lending it. So you can create that teaching in almost like an energetic ball, and then you put that in the earth. Yeah. And then when it's time to return, when you're ready to like chew on that and process it and work with it, then you can bring that teaching back and go there. So, because sometimes if we have teachings that are too heavy or complex or require too much of our energy, it can be draining, just like having them be like, I don't know what to do this yet. I'm not ready yet, but I'm going to hold on to it. So just knowing when it's time to lend it. And of course, if it's time to receive it, please do. So thank you all. I'm going to see if there's, I might have room. It's cutting it a little close. Let's see, unless anyone else. Okay, well, I don't see any other, let's see if I have any. All right. Oh. So it looks like that is the last question. I'm going to go get ready to get my daughter from the bus. And I want to thank everyone else for dropping on and for being present in whatever way. And I hope that these teachings have been able to inspire, uplift, encourage, motivate you in some way. And if anything, that they are, parts of this are just what you're needing to hear today. So I know a lot of what can come through, even though it's directed at one individual, it can be a collective answer too, that we are, so many of us are called to these Q&As for a reason. So many of us are tapping into a teaching that we might not even know we need to hear. Oh, Lori, yes, we're just finishing up, but Shucks. Yeah, I have to go get my daughter from the bus. But I would, Lori, I'll send you a special link for next week so that you know, and I'll give you a little heads up right before it happens, or maybe an hour before, so we can get you on, because I really do want to answer that question, but I gotta get my sweet daughter from the bus. And I want to thank everyone. Blessings to you on your day, and may all that comes your way be just what's needed. May you be able to receive the beautiful bounty of this planet. And I guess also, so for anyone that wasn't on earlier, oh, you're welcome, Laurie. So I am doing a West Coast tour, which I'm really excited about. I'm just compiling, I'm figuring out the venues I want to go to. I'm going to be going to, my aims are, this is in the States, so Portland, Ashland, Mount Shasta, Nevada City, Sebastopol, possibly down south beyond that too, depending on how motivated I feel. So if any of you guys are along that route and want to come or be on the list for when I'm actually showing up, I'm going to be doing Ask the Invisibles in person, and also some classes that I've been curating and putting together that are really exciting for me. So I'll keep you guys in the loop. And of course, if you want to subscribe and receive more personal downloads and different things, go onto my website. So that is my website. I'm now done plugging myself and I gotta get going. Blessings to all. See you next week, 2:30 PST, Pacific Standard Time. Aloha. And this time, Vegas. Ooh, maybe. This time I'm going to turn my camera off, because last time I forgot to do that when I ran outside. So turning my camera off. Aloha.